Today let's talk about a beauty trap called Culture 倾城局. In ancient times, countless emperors and heroes died because of it. Today, say the most powerful men are involved, they would probably end up with a tragic ending. In the 80s and 90s of the last century, the US played this trick on Japan and South Korea, which made Japanese and Korean men lose their blood and combat. The impact was profound, and even affected us. So, since my male fans still make up the majority, most of those who can see my video are in the game, I will talk to you about this insidious smile that kills without blood, the allure of a smile. There are many in history, such as King Yu of Zhou, who pleased boss, set fire to the beacon towers to make her laugh, which indirectly led to the demise of the Western Zhou. The first general of the Three Kingdoms, LVBU delayed the war, was captured by Cao Cao and ended up being killed. A red horse and a smiling concubine. No one knew it was Li Qi's. Tang Emperor Li Longji's lust for beauty eventually led to the Anxi Rebellion. The Tang dynasty declined. Histories define beauty as the source of trouble. Since ancient times, women's preferences determine men's choices, and women's aesthetic determines men's values. If women's criteria for choosing a spouse are whether this man can recite Tang poems, then all men in the country will run to read Tang poetry. But if women's criteria for choosing a spouse is whether this man has money, then all men will run to make money by any means. Whether you are the emperor or a commoner, as long as you are a man, you can't escape the fate of being dominated by women's values. This is the idea of the Culture 倾城 game. So those American politicians who love to think crooked thoughts. If in a country, the standard for women to judge men is whether a man is like a woman, then what about the men in this country? Will all become sissies? After World War II, although Japan had been defeated by the US, willingly becoming its younger brother, but the US was still worried. Do you think the men in this country adore the Bushido spirit? They draw their swords and fight to the death, and even commit seppuku if they lose. It is terrifying. Is there any way to make these men less cowardly, and gentler, and less violent? So the US came up with a bad idea. They controlled a Japanese entertainment company, named Johnny's 事务所. Then through entertainment news, newspapers and magazines, brainwashed Japanese women. They promoted those with long hair, and fair-skinned and weak male idols. This unhealthy effeminate aesthetic became the mainstream of the market. As mentioned above, female aesthetics determine male values, so Japanese young men began to imitate them, wearing long hair, makeup and tight pants. This foreign culture gradually spread to Korea, and even the whole of Asia. To this day, look at the male stars that America promotes, are still tough and masculine. On the contrary, our idol trainees, to be frank, for thousands of years, our Eastern men have fallen into a deep misunderstanding, which is to actively cater to women's evaluation standards, and internalize their values to demand ourselves. This is the most thankless way. You should know that women have a strong nature, and the essence of catering is to show weakness. So you will see that those pure love warriors try their best to empty their wallets, still can't win the heart of their goddess. But the scumbags and playboys, no matter what they do, their partners still follow them one after another. The smile that melts hearts. In the end, it is a complete scam. It is like when I excitedly went to buy a house, with purchase restrictions, 5 years of social security, and local household registration, with all kinds of restrictions. A few days ago, the real estate agent called me, asking if I still want the apartment I liked before. Just a down payment is enough.